Hello students, welcome back. So students, today we will continue with our chapter 8 in NV English, the story of Robinson Crusoe. So let me continue. I had found aboard a dog and two cats. I carried the cats ashore on the raft. But as for the dog, he swam ashore himself and was a trusty servant to me for many years. Besides the company of these pets, I had that of a parrot which I caught and which I taught to speak, and it often gave me much amusement. Now, Robinson Crusoe, as you know, his ship was stranded there, and on board he found pets, a dog and two cats, and the dog became very trustworthy servant of him. Okay, and besides the company of these pets, he also had a parrot which he had caught, and he also taught him to speak. You know, parrots can speak like human beings. You must have heard about it. It often gave me much amusement. Amusement means some sort of entertainment. The parrot used to give him, because like he was, as you know, he was in an uninhabited place. Okay, so these animals were some sort of amusement for him. Let us move ahead. Here we have this question: how many pets did Robinson Crusoe find aboard? Now, that was in the first line. In this para we already know he found a dog and two cats, and besides that he also had a parrot. So Robinson Crusoe found a dog, two cats and a parrot aboard the ship. Let's move. Which animal amused and entertained him the most? We just discussed now. Which animal, children? Yes, let us see. The parrot amused and entertained Robinson Crusoe the most. Let's move ahead now. I went out every day with my gun to hunt for food. I found that there were goats running wild on the island, and often succeeded in shooting one. But I saw that my ammunition would in time all be gone, and that to have a steady supply of goat's flesh, I must breed them in flocks. So I set a trap to take some alive and succeeded in catching several. I enclosed a piece of ground for them. Now it so happened that he had to every day take out his gun, and he had to go for hunting because he had to survive. He needed food. So there in the on the hills he found goats. So he shot those goats, and he managed to survive eating their flesh. But then he thought that my ammunition, means like if the gun was there, if there was no other source for him to kill the goat, then he would be left starving. He will not have any further supply of meat that he was getting. So what he thought was, I will try to breed them in flocks. I'll try to how we have in dairy farm, many hens are, like they keep, and then they the same way he thought that at the same time I will get a steady supply of goat's flesh. In order to do that, I need to breed them in flocks. So what he did was, he set a trap for some, and he kept some goats alive. He did not kill everybody. He kept some goats alive and succeeded in catching many goats he succeeded in catching. And then he enclosed a piece of ground. He made a particular place in the land, a ground for their where they were supposed to be kept. Okay, so let us move, read further. To run in, and in course of time had a large flock, which furnished me with all the meat I needed. I saved the skins of all the creatures I shot, and dried them, and when my clothes were worn out, replaced them with garments made of these. Then, now what he did, in the course of time, he had large flock, a very large number of goats, and then he started getting the steady supply of meat he needed. And then what he used to do after killing, he never used to discard the skin of that animal. He used to dry them, and then he used to use it as clothes for his protection. Okay, and he replaced whatever garments he had worn, those were all worn out. Okay, so he used the skin of these creatures that he shot to cover himself. Let's check out again. We will just move. Okay, okay, let's move. I saved the skin of all these creatures I shot, and dried them, and when my clothes were worn out, replaced them with the garments made of these. Then, at the expense of a great deal of time and trouble, I made an umbrella out of the skins which I needed much to keep off both rain and sun. What he did is, he used those skin to cover himself, as well as he made a umbrella sort of, wherein he would be protected of both sun as well as rain. I repeat the question. How did Robinson Crusoe use the skin of the creatures he hunted? Let's check out the answer. He used the skin as clothes to cover himself. He also made an umbrella out of the skin to protect from sun and rain. Let's move ahead. Let's read this para. For a long time, I brooded over the idea of making a canoe of the trunk of a tree, as the Indians do, and at last set to work at the task. I cut a large tree and spent over 3 months shaping it into the form of a boat. Then I found it too. Now what he did is, for a long time he brooded. He was thinking of that plan of making a canoe. What is a canoe? Canoe is a boat. He thought that he will cut a tree, and using the trunk of a tree, he will give it a shape it into a shape of like wherein it would look like a boat. That's the canoe. And at last set to work at the task, I cut a large tree, and finally he plans to do it, and he did it. I cut a large tree and spent over 3 months shaping it into the form of a boat. Then I found it too. Now, okay, let's answer in one word. A long light boat that is pointed at both ends of and moved along like a paddle. Okay, just now we spoke about that word. A long light boat that is pointed at both the ends and moved along using a paddle. What will be that? Canoe. Very good. Now, let's move. Large to move to the water. I afterwards made a smaller one and succeeded in launching it, and set out to make a tour around the island in it. Finally, he made one, and then he found that very good, this I'll be able to do. So afterwards he made a smaller one and succeeded in launching it, and set out to make a tour around the island. He was trying to discover the place, so he just moved around that in the sea using that canoe. Set out to make a tour around the island in it. But when I had been out 3 3 days, such a storm arose that I was near being lost. Now what happened is, when he started moving this canoe boat, it's a small, it is not that strong as a big ship. So, and such a storm arose that I was near being lost. He was almost lost. At last I was able to bring my boat to the shore in the little cove. What is a cove? The meaning is given there. Part of the coast where the land curves. You must have seen that some beaches where they have long land curves. Around that, the sea is partially surrounded by the land. And there I left it and went across the island on foot to my castle, not caring to go to the sea again in such an unsafe vessel. Now he learnt a lesson. He said that he managed to make a canoe, then he made a smaller one and he tried to move around. But one day it so happened, you cannot predict the weather in the sea. Suddenly a storm arose and he was just being lost. Somehow he managed to bring his boat to the shore, and then he left it. He left it for good, and then on foot, he went on foot to his castle where he had made a place for him to stay. And he caring that he thought that he realized that I will never go to the sea again in an unsafe vessel. Vessel means here in this context it is a ship, a boat, or any such vehicle that is used to travel in the seas. Okay, so he decided that it is really unsafe. Now I will never again do this mistake. So now, what lesson did Robinson Crusoe learn? What lesson did Robinson Crusoe learn? Let's check out. Robinson Crusoe realized that it is not wise to go to the sea again in an unsafe vessel. Okay. He realized that it is not wise to go to the sea again in an unsafe vessel. So students, here we come to the end of this chapter. It was a very interesting and adventurous lesson. Okay, I hope you all liked it. So now we will just do a short recap. Let's check out. Okay, whom did Crusoe meet in London and where did he go with him? This we had read in the second part of this lesson. Let's check out whom did he had met. Crusoe met a ship owner in London who traded on the coast of Africa. He set off with him on his voyage. Now, what was the question, students? Whom did Crusoe meet in London and where did he go with him? How did he happen to be in that place where he is in that situation? What was the start? This is the question. And now the answer. Crusoe met a ship owner in London who traded on the coast of Africa. He set off with him on his voyage. Let's check out the next question. How was the second storm different from the first one? Let's check out the second storm. How was it different? The first storm did not actually sink the ship, but the second one did. The first storm, in the first storm, the ship was not sunk, okay, but the second one was very strong, and in that storm the ship actually sank. So the first storm did not actually sink the ship, but the second one did. Here we have this question for you. Why did the ship disappear on the 13th day? If we remember, we had for 12 days he was on the island. A violent wind at night sank the ship. On the 12th day, he saw, when he woke up from sleep, he saw that the ship was nowhere at the side. So on the 13th day, a violent wind at night sank the ship. Now filling the blanks with the correct form of adjectives in the bracket. Now this is an exercise that has been given on the in the lesson, behind the lesson. Here, my sister is dash. In the bracket you have to adjectives, these are the degree of comparison. So here you have to use the correct form of adjective. Old than your sister. My sister is, yes, it has to be the comparative degree, that is my sister is older than your sister. The correct answer is older. My sister is older than your sister. Let's check out the next one. Your drawing is dash. In the bracket it's good than mine. Now here again you have positive, comparative, superlative. So good is given. Okay, so your, again the word then is there, so you have to use the comparative degree. Your drawing is, it has to be good, better, best. So which word will come? Your drawing is better than mine. Okay, your drawing is better than mine. Now who is the dash good dancer in the class? Who is the dash dancer in the class? Now let's check out who is the, here we are using the superlative degree. Who is the best dancer in the class? So who is the best dancer in the class? Now which is the dash long river in the world? Which is the long river in the world? Now which degree you are you will use? Which is the, yes, it has to be again superlative degree. Which is the longest river in the world? The answer has to be which is the longest river in the world. Now here we have this. Lithium is the dash of all metals. Lithium, it's a metal, is the dash of all the metal. Again in the bracket there is positive degree, right, light is given. Here again you are going to use the superlative degree. So what will it be? Yes, lightest. Lithium is the lightest of all metals. Just see the spelling, lightest of all metals. Let's move to the next one, students. Mangoes are, in the bracket, sweet than guavas. Mangoes are dash, in the bracket, sweet than guavas. See the word given, than. So here we are using comparative degree. Mangoes are sweeter than guavas. Mangoes are sweeter than guavas. Next, here, Bangalore is dash, in bracket hot in April, but Delhi is dash hot again than Bangalore. So here we are using two types of degrees here. Bangalore is hot in April, that is positive degree, but Delhi is, than is used, so comparative. Delhi is hotter than Bangalore. So the first is positive degree, hot. Next one is comparative, hotter. Okay. So students, here we come to the end of this chapter. I'm sure you have understood this chapter well and you like this chapter well. Just keep on reading the chapter. I know you by now, I hope so, some of you must have purchased the books. You must have purchased it online, or in case if you haven't purchased, you you will be PDFs. I will be sending you the PDFs, and also the notes will be sent to you, so you can write the notes neatly in the books that are, you must have made an English class workbook, right? So students, so till we meet in the next class, have a nice day.